What's up guys, my name's Captain Dave and welcome back to the Captain's Quarters, the video in which I go through and answer all your questions and comments from last week's video. And let's start this off with the big announcement that I know I have already started to get loads and loads of comments about, so let's get it out of the way straight away. And that is, Captain Dave, will you play Batman Arkham Origins? And I'm going to answer it the same way I answer all those questions. Yes, of course I'll play it as soon as I can. The same way I always answer it. I'm playing it right now. You know, I always like to play through my games first so I can enjoy them myself as well, just like you guys get to. I'm playing through it now. I still haven't completed it, so no spoilers. I'm about, well, I couldn't even hazard the guess how far through I am. But I've been playing it. I've only had about one day playing it so far. So, yeah, as soon as I finish that, I'd like to get that recorded and uploaded as soon as, because I haven't uploaded anything superhero-y in quite a long time. So as soon as I can get Arkham Origins up, I will. But with that in mind, that piece of equipment that I said I was waiting for in regards to being able to actually record gameplay, because as I said, I was waiting for a cable to arrive so I could hook up my Xbox to my PVR again. It finally arrived today, only to find out it doesn't work. Come on guys, you know my luck by now. Did we expect any different? Yeah, apparently the cable I bought, it was like a HDMI to component cable. Apparently no such thing exists, and it was a complete scam. Apparently a cable like that only works with specific equipment. Who knew? Who knew? Only if I had scrolled down to read the comments section, I would have found out that everyone said the whole thing sucked. But what I actually needed was a HDMI to component converter, not a cable. I needed a converter. So I've ordered that, and it said it'll be with me in about a week. So with regards to when I'll be getting Batman Arkham Origins up, at very, very minimum a week, because that's when I'll be receiving the converter, so I can hook up my Xbox to my PVR and start recording. So all this week, whenever I get a chance, because a very busy week ahead of me, I'll be playing Arkham Origins any chance I get, and then as soon as that converter arrives, I'll very first moment I find, I'll sit down to try and get it recorded and get that first episode up for you. So at very minimum a week, but quite possibly longer. It's more than likely it will be a tad longer than that. So, but it's alright, I've still got some. We're coming near the end of Mass Effect 2 now, but we've still got some to upload. We've still got something for you. And also, just before we get on with the questions, because there are just as many questions this week as there was last week, so look forward to another hour-and-a-half episode. We really need to get this thing trucking. But with regards to the length of this thing, I was chatting to Tommy from Geekspace the other day, and he mentioned something that hadn't occurred to me, but it's actually quite a good idea. But before I looked into it, I thought I'd ask you first, and that is, if I was to convert the Captain's Quarters not only as a YouTube video, but also as a free download on iTunes, would that be something you guys would be interested in? Because I don't want to spend loads of time and effort trying to convert it into an audio file to put up on almost like as a podcast on iTunes for you guys to download for free, and then only find that 2 people actually want to listen to it. Because like Tommy said to me, he wants to listen to the Captain's Quarters, but quite often he wants to listen to it on his iPod or on his phone on the way to work or college or school or whatever. He doesn't always have to want to have that YouTube tab open. So I mean, if that's something you guys would be interested in, and you would actually really like to have it as an audio file that you can listen to on iTunes, then I'll look into it. So please let me know in the comments of this video if that's something that you'd actually like for me to do, because obviously I don't want to waste my time. But if not, if you're just happy watching it as a YouTube video and you're not really fussed with the iTunes download, let me know either way. Obviously I don't want to waste my time, but if that's something you like, then it's something I will definitely look into. And go ahead and thank Tommy for mentioning it if you do like it, because the idea hadn't even occurred to me. It's quite a good idea, especially since how these things are like an hour and a half long these days. You can't necessarily sit there in front of the computer for an hour and a half just listening, just like with that YouTube tab open. Sometimes you want to be walking around doing stuff. So anyway, enough of that. Enough of comments and announcements and stuff like that. Let's get on answering the questions from last week's Captain's Quarters, starting off with Mission Unstoppable 1. Hey Dave, if you make a video game of your own, would you give your fans a reduced price? Hell no! If I've spent loads of time making a game, everyone pays retail price. None of this freebie crap. No, I wouldn't really have a say in the matter. I think if I started giving all my fans reduced price at the current time of recording this, there would be over 8,000 people getting a reduced price, which would probably mean I'd lose my job. So I'm going to have to say no to that. You also asked when Halloween comes, You'll be in a big Krogan costume outside my house. All right, cool. Well, good to know. Good to know. I won't have to get my gun. Assuming I even have a gun. Turk for Live 66 said, Dave, if you had to kill a Marvel character, who would you kill and why? Deadpool. Just Deadpool. Why do I always say Deadpool? I don't mean to say Deadpool. Yeah, actually Deadpool. Just because I know he'd come back to life. That's a cheap answer. I don't know. Daredevil comes to mind for no real reason, just because he was the first person that popped into my head, really. No, there's others that I hate more. Oh, there is. Oh, there was someone. Someone just popped into my head and then immediately popped out of my head. I feel like Professor Farnsworth. There was someone who just popped into my head who I absolutely hated, and I can't remember who it is now. Meh. Let's just say Daredevil for no. Do you know what? Vision. Vision is just boring. When I read Avengers Disassembled, I was glad to see his demise. That guy just bores the hell out of me. Got no interest in him. Marvel Lover 12 says, Dave, what console are you going to play Batman on? Oh wait, no, you've already told me that in another video, sorry. No, that's okay, yeah, but for anyone who didn't see it in the other video, Xbox. Just because I played the other two on Xbox, it just makes sense to carry it on. Turk for Live 66 said, Dave, if you could change a Marvel comic book ending, which one would you change and why? I would change... There's a couple of little things I'd like to tweak. I'm kind of worried because I don't want to give away the ending to any of the comics that I've read. So I don't know, I might have to leave the why because I don't want to give any spoilers for those who haven't actually read those particular comments. But I'd change how Death of Spider-Man happened. Not the Ultimate version. I like the Ultimate version. The Amazing version. I would change that because I just think it sucked and it literally, in my opinion, just took a massive dump on every single Spider-Man fan. Everyone out there who's been waiting for him to finally get some recognition for all the hard work and everything he sacrificed, and he got nothing. And I know that's kind of going along the Spider-Man theme, and he's not technically dead because, you know, he's in so-and-so's mind, whatever. It's just, I feel it was kind of anticlimactic, and it was just kind of like, I kind of felt like it was, you know, like in a TV show when an actor leaves and then they replace him with another actor, but it's still the same character, but it's clearly like Neighbours. Anytime I've walked in and my mum was like back when I lived at home, my mum would be watching Neighbours, and there would be like the actual actor who plays a character would change like 3 times, and I just thought that was so stupid. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. It's just like you watch that and you don't believe that's the same character anymore because it's not. So yeah, that's kind of what I felt like I did with Amazing Spider-Man. And I'll change the I don't know, I wasn't a huge fan of the ending of Avengers vs X-Men either. I didn't really like the way that went down at the end, mainly with Cyclops. Again, everything that's happened with him, and I just felt they took like a massive dump on him, on his character, and I felt he needed... I know, like, obviously, he went way overboard, so what happened was justified, if you see what I mean, but I think in another character that's just never been given any recognition, he's left out of nearly all the games, and it's like, the dude is the X-Men. Cyclops is the X-Men. It's just like, and yet they leave him out of all the games. He just never gets any recognition, and the big story like that comes around, and then he's made out to be the bad guy. It just didn't sit well with me. But there's that. Anyway, Mission Unstoppable 1 said, Dave, the reason I mentioned Jacob before was because I couldn't resist mentioning it, and my reaction was hilarious. Yeah, I had a feeling you were trying to get a rise out of me there. It worked. Never insinuate I like Jacob. It infuriates me. Yusuf Yasir said, hey Dave, so you're choosing game design. Which game company are you choosing? Any. You don't really get to choose which company you work for. You go to university, you learn how to 3D model and program and storyboarding and all that sort of stuff. And then when you finish, you hope and pray that any company will take you like anywhere. You don't, unless you're like some like genius and you're just like some sort of IQ of over 9,000, then and you've got companies like all arguing over which one gets you. It's not really the way it works. You're complete uni and you're just happy to get a job anywhere, especially the way the economy is going these days. And in a very, very popular career choice, which is game design. So hey, any company, as long as it's not some sort of fake sitting in someone's mum's basement company, yeah, anywhere, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't mind either way. And you said you're going to be going as Hellboy for this Halloween. Alright, so if there's an angry Krogan and Hellboy standing outside my flat, then I know it's used to. Ethan Brown said, hey Dave, you know me and Josh are friend bro. Are you talking about Josh Jenks, who happened to comment right above you? Because either way, Josh Jenks said, what's Beyond Two Souls like? I actually still haven't played it. Because when I've got Beyond, I really want to play that game. And it's just kind of weird how it's just been sitting there and I haven't actually played it. Because when I first got it, I was playing Pokemon. And I still am playing Pokemon now. But then Arkham Origins came out, and obviously I felt I had to get on that one as quick as possible, because the quicker I finish playing it, the quicker I can get it out for you guys. So I haven't actually played Beyond Two Souls yet. I suppose that's going to be a little surprise for me later, when I'm sitting there and I'm bored one day and then I remember I haven't even opened that game yet. So kind of the same with what's it called, Saints Row the Third. I've had that wrapped up since Christmas. I still haven't played it. I really want to, but I don't know. This last year I've just been obsessed with Mass Effect, I guess. Yusuf said, Dave, are you going to play Wolf Among Us? I've never heard of it, so probably not. And Dave, your game sounds like a game I'd look forward to playing, not just because it reminds me of Infamous, but a good story. I can't. Thank you very much. Chris62721, I hope that's not your real name, said, will you do another superhero game? Yes, the next one will be Batman Arkham Origins. As I said previously, obviously, as soon as I can, it will be up. Josh Jenks said, have you saw or thought about getting Destiny? It looks slightly Mass Effect-y. Yeah, that is a cool word. And has took a lot of aspects from ME. I'm also getting a PS4. I saw a bit of it at Eurogamer, but to be honest, I haven't seen too much about it. And it just, I don't know, there's nothing really that I've seen so far that seems to appeal to me, to be honest with you. Well, what have we got next? Michael Warford said, can't wait for you to play Arkham Origins when we play it. Yeah, as I said, I answered that question earlier. Probably about a week to 2 weeks will probably be when we get it out. That sounded very wrong. Let's swiftly move on. Josh Jenks said, have you ever watched Arrow on Sky One? It's in its second series now, but the first should be on Netflix. But if you want a good hero program, then this is it. Yeah, I've got a mate who I used to go to college with. He says he watches Arrow and he likes it, but by the time I found out season 1 was on, it was already about halfway through the season, and I don't know, I just haven't really got into it. It's at that point now, and I'm also not too interested in watching it. It's probably one of those programs, kind of like I'm doing with The Big Bang Theory, where I'm going to wait for it to finish and then one day sit down and just watch them all from start to end. Because obviously, just like with Arrow, like Big Bang Theory has been on for a hell of a long time. So I don't know if it has ended or if it's going to be ending soon, but when it does, that's when I'm going to sit down and start watching it. Because like with Arrow, it's in its second season now. I might as well just wait, and then I've got so many other things I want to watch, so I'm just going to wait probably until it finishes years down the line and just watch them all back to back. Plus, there's plenty of things coming on like autumn, winter time. There's plenty of new shows that have come back again, or returned again, I should say. Yusuf said, Dave, if you think about doing an Infamous walkthrough, I have both of them. You can borrow them if you want. Oh, it's very nice. But if I was to do a walkthrough, I'd probably buy the game myself. But thank you very much for the offer. Seth Hampton, when will you start the Lego Marvel walkthrough? I'm not sure if the game's come out in England yet, has it? I don't think it has. But just like as I say, with every sort of game that I'm going to do a walkthrough of, as soon as I get it and I've like played through it myself, I'll get it uploaded as soon as. The only things that I record and then delay is Mass Effect, because I don't want to upload 10 episodes a day, it would just be silly. But everything else, I record it and then I upload it daily, and it's just the way it is. I don't sit there and record, like say Batman, and then not upload episode 1 and wait for ages. I don't do that. As soon as I can get it recorded, I will. I'm not waiting for some hidden reason. Tony Dennis said, Cap, what in the blue hell is lug holes? Which apparently I said in Mass Effect episode 89. Lug holes, they're your ears. Blew me bleeding lug holes off. You know, as a British person doing the British impression, if that was even possible. Seth Hampton said, would you ever play a game where Marvel and DC fought if it weren't a 2D scroller thing? And do you watch epic rap battles of history? I've seen a couple of epic rap battles from history, and I thought a few of them were cool, but I'm not subbed and I don't really keep an eye out for them. I just happened to see a couple in my suggested videos, so I thought I'd give them a watch. I thought they were pretty funny. And I prefer the game, like if it was a Marvel versus DC game, I'd prefer the game if it obviously wasn't like a 2D scroller, if it was actually like a third person proper game. But I don't like the whole idea of Marvel versus DC. I don't know. I just don't really it just doesn't appeal to me, to be honest with you. Josh Jenks said, the hardest boss I've saw you try and fight was Electro in Ultimate Spider-Man. You sucked at that. Yeah, well, actually no. The boss battle with Electro, I destroyed him. It was the chase scene with Electro that I sucked at. Context, people, context. Now, the actual boss battle with Electro, that weren't too shabby. But, at least as memory serves, it weren't too shabby. It was chasing Electro where I really just... Oh man, that was just embarrassing. I can remember why young Dave got so angry at that. Oh, this. Sorry, I'm just reading comments and they're not questions. Right, Ricky Simpson. Hey, Captain Dave. Greetings from Scotland. You are my favourite Englishman. Oh, thank you very much. I love your Sean Connery accent. Oh, thank you very much. If you could pick an old game, PS1, PS2, Xbox, to be remade for the next gen console, which one would you pick? And do I collect Marvel fact files? I do not collect Marvel fact files. And if I could have any game recreated, I don't know. I'd have to. I don't know really, because some games I feel they're good because of how they were at the time. I feel if you recreated them, the actual game itself wouldn't be too good. Like a lot of games that I absolutely loved, I think I loved them because they were great at that time. And for me, at the time, the graphics were the best. And yeah, you can recreate the graphics better, but the story would still be what it was. And so maybe if they did make it now, it might not be as good. But I don't know. I always loved the Crash Bandicoot games, but to be honest, they don't really need to be remade. I mean, they could have a sort of like a bit of a HD remastering to them, but I don't know. Crash Bandicoot, that was always an awesome great game. Crash Team Racing, of course, goes on with it. Abe's Odyssey. That game was awesome. I mean, that would have to be kept, though, as a side-scroller. If they made that three-dimensional, then it would suck. It would have to be kept as a side-scroller. But Abe's Odyssey, never, ever completed that game. But, man, I wish I did. Absolutely loved that game. Yeah, something like Crash Bandicoot or Abe's Odyssey, I'm probably going to have to say. Because those games were fantastic. Vladax94 said, since you are a Pokemon fan, what are your favourite types? Favourite types? I don't know. I don't think I actually have a favourite type. I'm kind of like one of those people who wants my cake and eat it too. I always try and get all the Pokemon that have two types. It's like Dark and Fighting, and then Grass and Poison, and then I don't know, or Ghost and Poison, and then Water and Ice, and then Flying and Fire. And I always try and get them so they've got two types, so I can try and get as many types into my party as possible. I mean, by that logic, if you've got 6 Pokemon and both of them are double typers, you've actually got 12 types in your party. So, I mean, it is possible. But I don't know, which one is, if I had to just have one type of Pokemon in my party, I suppose it would have to be one that has the most. There is no Pokemon, I suppose, that has like the greatest advantage, because they all have their weaknesses. But I don't know. The thing is, Steel type is really boring, but I tend to find they're normally defensive against a lot of things. But no, I don't know. I always like my Ghost types. I like my Psychic. Fire, that's always cool. You gotta have a Water type on this time. I like Ice. I don't know why, I just like Ice types. I think if I had to pick just one, I'd pick an Ice type. I don't know why. They're weak to quite a few things, and I tend to find some of them are quite defensive, like got quite good defensive stats, but not all of them. Sometimes they can be quite weak, but they're normally got quite good attack. But I don't know. I just like Ice type Pokemon. I think they're quite cool. But anyway, Josh, what's your favourite type? you might as well. I might as well find out what your favourite type is as well. Josh Jenks said it's not based on... Oh, you're talking about Avengers 2. It's not based on Age of Ultron. It's only taken the name from it. Oh, really? Oh. I suppose that's alright, actually. Because obviously, Age of Ultron only came out just recently. Or just a few months ago. Or just over the summer. So I suppose if they did make Avengers 2 based on that, a lot of people, probably myself included, wouldn't have actually read it yet. So... Oh, that's a shame. I was kind of hoping it was going to be based on the actual event, but then if it actually was, I heard a lot of heroes die in Age of Ultron, so I don't know how they would have done that in Avengers 2. But VladX94 said, "Play AVGN Adventures, please. You will not regret it." I'm not sure what AVGN Adventures is, unfortunately. You might have to tell me, but. I don't know, I haven't heard of it, so probably unlikely. I've still got quite a few games on the back burner that I want to play. And you said, speaking of Sonic, will you play Sonic Generations? Again, probably no. I loved Sonic as a kid, but it's just not the sort of thing I'm into now. AJ Singh said, do you think they should make a new Avengers movie or a game or both? And was the Sandman, I'm guessing that's supposed to be the Sandman and Adventure. He was in the Avengers. Yeah, Sandman nearly was in the Avengers. As far as I know, I'm not sure if he ever actually became an Avenger, but I know from what I've heard, from what I've read, like with conversations between Sandman and Avengers, I heard one of them say once, "Come on, you were nearly an Avenger yourself." So I think he nearly, from what I've read, I think he was nearly an Avenger, but obviously didn't go the full way. But that's just from what I've read. I haven't actually read the comic in itself where he nearly became an Avenger. And do you think they should make a new Avengers movie? Definitely. Yeah, every successful film these days seems to get turned into a trilogy, whether it should or not. And I think the Avengers is probably going to be the same. At least, at minimum, they're going to make a trilogy out of it, I feel. If they make a fourth and a fifth and they just keep it going forever, because, well, they probably could with Avengers, I wouldn't be surprised. I hope and I pray the third Avengers film is Civil War. I hope it is Civil War so much. And it'll be a good way to end it, because then they can have with the Avengers splitting up. But I hope and I pray the third film is Civil War. And that's why I hope that... I know there's like the whole thing with Sony owning Spider-Man and other such stuff like that. And I'm not sure who's doing... I think X-Men, I think that's also Sony. I'm not certain, but I think that's also Sony. And I'm not sure who's doing the Fantastic Four reboot. But that's why I hope they're doing all these reboots, is so they can all come together for one of the Avengers films. That's my hope. I really do wish they do a Civil War one. But, yeah, definitely. I mean, keep pumping out the games, keep pumping out the movies. I mean, if they suck, they suck. But I'd rather have a game or a movie. Actually, no, I wouldn't want a movie that sucked. But no, just definitely with the movies. Keep bringing out the movies. Games, I'd rather they bring out only a few games, like every now and then, but they be really good, than pumping one out every single year and they suck. You know, I'd rather them take their time and bring out a really good game. And yeah, movies, just keep making those movies. I look forward to them every year. JDude281 said, maybe nobody will touch Daredevil after the abomination that was Ben Affleck. Yeah, and just think, he's going to be playing Batman soon. Jack Lunas says, are you getting the new consoles? No, I'm not. I will only get... Like, everyone's been chatting about which console they're going to get, which one's better. I honestly couldn't think of anything I care less about. I will only probably actually get a new console when an exclusive game comes out, which I want. Like, the whole reason I got a PS3 was just because I wanted to play GTA 4. Before that, I only had a PS2, and I was very happy with it. But it was only when GTA 4 came out, I thought, oh, I really want to play that game. So I got myself a PS3, and then the only reason I got an Xbox 360 was because I wanted to play Mass Effect, only for a week later it to be released on PlayStation 3. I swear they were waiting. They were following me, just waiting for me to make my move. But no, I'll only be getting a new console when a game that I want, or a game series that I follow, then gets released on the new console, and I have no choice but to buy it. So, only then. JDude281 said, what do you think of Iron Man 3 movie? I liked it. I think that video that How It Should Have Ended pointed out, where the plot of Iron Man 3 was pretty much The Incredibles, I thought was hilariously true. Like at one point, it was almost scene for scene at one point. But no, I liked it. A lot of people said it was really bad, and they thought it was silly, and they're like, oh, how's he going to be Iron Man? He's like, well, he can just make another suit. I don't want to give away what happened in Iron Man 3 for anyone who hasn't seen it, because you never know who hasn't seen it, so I don't want to give stuff away. I'm assuming most of you have. But I mean, at the end, you know, it's like, everyone's like, how's he going to be in the Avengers now? How's he going to be in the Avengers? He's like, he built his first suit when he was in a cave. I'm pretty certain he can build himself another Iron Man suit if he wants to. It's just because he got rid of them doesn't mean... Oh, I was giving a bit away there. But it's not just he got rid of them, it doesn't mean that's it forever. I'm pretty certain if Avengers 2 comes up and there's some big disaster in New York, Pepper Potts will be like, yeah, Tony, they kind of need you. Go on, make another suit. Yeah. But, no, I liked the film. I thought it was good. I thought it was much better than Iron Man 2, which I was worried about when I watched Iron Man 2. I thought they might have just killed the franchise. JDude281 said, did you ever have Spider-Man on your wall? That was in a reference to last week's video, in which I was saying how when I was younger, my mum used to always paint whatever I liked, like, on my wall. But I read that and I actually thought you meant the character Spider-Man, like a man just hanging off my wall. But no, no, I never did. By the time I got to really liking Spider-Man, that was a bit more into my adult years. And I think my my love life with the ladies would have been hindered if my mum was still painting things on my wall by the time I got older. There we go. JDude281 said, I can't wait to see how they bring Ultron into Avengers 2 movie without Hank Pym. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking as well. But then that comment earlier I read said apparently it isn't actually to do with Ultron. It's just taking the name Age of Ultron. Well, no, it's got to actually have something to do with Ultron. If it's called Age of Ultron, they might not actually be following the story arc of Age of Ultron, but it's got to actually have Ultron in it. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious how they do that as well. Maybe they're doing the whole, he comes back before Hank Pym's even made him. So even though Hank Pym isn't in Avengers 2, Ultron can still come back to this time from the future and just say in the future Hank Pym made him. Because, I mean, he doesn't have to come back to a time when Hank Pym's already made him. He can come back before Hank Pym's even made him, before Hank Pym even knows the Avengers. Or maybe they'll just introduce Hank into Avengers 2, who knows? You also said The Misadventures of Dave and Tommy. That might be a pretty good TV show if you're tormenting yourself with awful television. Oh, yeah, that's true actually. Don't worry. I was going to say I'm hurt, but no, you bring up a good point. The Ninth Path said, Dave, if you could make any character in Mass Effect, but you don't have to be like Shepard, you can pick any race, gender, abilities, origin, and allegiances, what would you pick and why? Wow, you're already throwing the ball out there. Open field, I can pick absolutely anything. Well, you said that you would be a human male vanguard that was born on a human space station who is a member of the mercenary group, the Blue Suns. I would pick... I would love to say that I'd be a Krogan. I would love to say I'd be a Krogan, but... I don't know, Hannah or Die, not Hannah, oh god, it wouldn't be Hannah. You gotta be a Volus, haven't you? You just have to. Voldy the Volus. I don't know, I'd like to say I'd be a Jarrell, but dying from Kepler syndrome doesn't exactly sound like my cup of tea, you know. You literally drown on your own fluids, it doesn't exactly sound nice. I don't know, I would, other than obviously being a human, even though, I mean, I don't know if I'm genderless or if it means I'll be a woman, but the Asari are pretty cool. Mate with absolutely any species and you live for 1,000 years, can't exactly say no to that. And you have crazy ass biotics just from birth. You know, I mean, how can you say no to that? But I don't know, if I had to pick, I'd probably say Krogan. I'd be a badass Krogan, it's got to be a Vanguard. Yeah, imagine that. You think Shepard's coming at you is scary enough as a Vanguard. Imagine a Krogan Vanguard charging at you. There's your bum baby right there. Yeah, I'd be a Vanguard Krogan, and I'd be the first Krogan Spectre. Yeah, how's that? How's that? The Captain Junior, nice name by the way. said, well, I will make sure to tell my viewers that you were my inspiration to do these videos. Oh, thank you very much. And I plan on calling myself the Captain Junior. Oh, well, there you go. I'm guessing you probably wrote this before you changed the name. Hope you don't mind, and if you do, have any suggestions, and do you think you have any more good ideas about how to get started? As I said, I've said in previous videos, which I think is probably the best way to get started, so obviously I'm not going to reiterate myself. And yeah, I don't mind calling myself the Captain Junior. As long as nobody flat out rips off my name or anything I do, then yeah, I don't care. As long as it's meant in good taste and in a nice way, then yeah, of course. Well, I wouldn't be offended at all. It's a compliment. Xavier, a new name for me to butcher. Xavier Olestia. Olestia? Is that how you say it? Xavier Olestia said, are you from United Kingdom or Australia? I am from the UK. Lived here my whole life. I just grew up watching a lot of TV. And you also asked, do facecam? No. I don't do facecam. And watch previous videos, you'll find out why. But I just don't want to put my face out there. Consider it a secret identity. Or at least I do. It's how I don't know. It makes me think it's at least cool, and then I realise what I say and realise it's not cool at all. Zachary Ziegler said, thanks for answering my question, and my name is pronounced Ziegler as in zigzag. Oh, okay. Keep up the good work, dude. Hashtag Mass Effect 3. Yeah, I was all pumped to start recording Mass Effect 3. Like right now when I'm recording this, I was all so excited to start recording Mass Effect 3, and then the bloody cable didn't work, and now that can't happen. But so excited. It's been months since I've last played Mass Effect. So obviously what you're seeing now, what I'm uploading, Mass Effect 2 wise, if you look at any time I actually save my game whilst recording, you'll see how long ago it was I last played. Jim Vernier said, ridiculously good is what I meant. Pokemon really came a long way since Red and Blue to X and Y. Yeah, it really has. I was actually, my computer was messing around with me before I started recording this, so I played a bit of X and Y. I went and caught myself a good old legendary while I was waiting. And no, the game really has it's come leaps and bounds, and as a lot of people say, it's Pokemon / Digimon now, but hey, I'm okay with that. I like Digimon. I always thought the cartoon was quite good. I always thought the Digimon cartoon was a little bit better than the Pokemon cartoon. I always thought the Pokemon games were better and the Digimon cartoon was better. But I never really watched too many of them though, so who knows, it might have gone downhill in the end, but no, the game has just come absolute leaps and bounds from Red and Blue. I mean, I'm watching a Blue walkthrough by Leroy right now, actually. And you still get nostalgia when you watch those games. And that's why I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver is one of my favourite Pokemon games. Just because you have both Kanto and Johto, but the graphics are a bit vamped up. And you do get some newer Pokemon. And they have some sort of references back to like Red and Blue and Yellow and stuff like that. And your Pokemon gets to follow you around, like in Yellow and that. I think it's quite cool. But no, X and Y, it's definitely taking it to a whole new level. It's just little things they add in that they don't need to add in, which I think is just pretty good. It actually makes you care about your party, because that was the one thing I always found, that once all my Pokemon had fully evolved, I found myself getting quite bored, because there was no, other than them just going up levels and learning new moves, there wasn't really too much for them to do. So then once you'd also done the Pokemon League and completed the story, it was kind of done. But I find with X and Y, I can see myself training up other Pokemon, just because you have the whole Pokemonomy and the super training and all that sort of stuff. Which, I won't lie, is a pain in the arse when you actually just want to advance the story. But in the long run, I think it's going to give the game a lot more playability. But anyway, you always tell me how to pronounce your name, and I never do it right every time. Alkarashi. Ah, damn it! No, you actually wrote a comment here of how to pronounce your name. There it is. Alkaracia. Alkaracia? Is that how I say it? Alkaracia. That's how you pronounced it at the top there. Sorry. Every week I butcher your name. I'm so sorry. Said, why don't you have your own custom intro? I don't know really. I tend to find custom intros just to be a little bit tacky, to be honest with you. It's always like some massive sort of like text with fire or lightning or something like that behind it, and it's just like, yeah, I'm HD gaming, quick scoping, UK XXX Mega Man or something like that, and it's like fire and lightning, and I don't know, I just always tend to find they're just, I don't like it. It's a bit tacky. I put like little intros, like I put the Marvel symbol or the DC symbol, or like the Mass Effect thing. I put like the Mass Effect logo with the title. I like doing little stuff like that to make it interesting and to make it my own. But I don't know, I just don't like custom intros. It's just personal preference, I think. Some people like them, and I mean that's fair enough. But I personally just, I don't know, I just don't like them. I fiddled around with giving myself a custom intro way back in the day, but I just didn't like it, to be honest. Jordan Waring said Spider Island game is an MMO. What do you think, Dave? An online Spider game where you make your own character and you'll have powers. I definitely see it. The only thing I'd figure it would have a bit of a limitation because Spider-Man only has so many powers. So the way I could figure it maybe working if it was an MMO is say like you can only give your Spider-Man character 3 abilities. But you have to choose between spider sense, combat, reflexes, web slinging, strength, agility. You know, you got loads of different of Spider-Man's abilities, and you only have to pick 3. So in that way, you'd get like you'd get your heavy, beefy class, you'd get your fast class, you'd get maybe your long-ranged web swinging class or something like that. You know, so I can see it becoming an MMO, but you'd have to put limitations on your characters, as you said, you know, to make your own character your own, have your own powers and stuff. You'd have to definitely give them limitations to put up some variety. But yeah, no, I'm always up for more Spider-Man games. Jedi Coon said, "Hey Dave, how many Krogan do you think Juggernaut could take at once?" Oh, do you have to ask? He's the Juggernaut. He could take a Krogan on for days. He's like the Marvel Universe's version of a Krogan. He's even the same colour as Rex. Yeah, that's a fight I'd like to see. Rex versus the Juggernaut. I'm sure he can take on a fair few of them. I'm resisting doing an over 9,000 joke again. I think I've milked that one too much in this video. We have a comment here from Yusuf Yasir that says, "Dave, whenever you say you like playing games on your own, you sound like you're doing a lone wolf thing. P.S. The reason I keep sending a lot of comments is because I'm writing on my iPhone." Yeah, it's alright, mate. Don't worry about all the comments. I know you're writing your iPhone and it spams like the enter button and it posts a comment before you're ready. There's quite a few people I think who have the same issue when it comes to this. But no, I'm not necessarily doing a lone wolf thing. I interact with other people, and as I say, if the option ever came around, I would. But honestly, as you all know, I honestly have no time to even get the stuff I want to get done. I could never make a commitment and say to someone else, yeah, I will be free at this time, because I could never promise that I could. So it's not necessarily a lone wolf thing. It's just I know working on my own, I can get my stuff done and I can work to my schedule. I can never promise somebody else that I could keep to that schedule. And it makes life easier. I know when I'm doing something, I can do it the way I'm going to do it and get it right and get it done and get it edited and uploaded. With someone else, that isn't the case. There's loads of factors that could go wrong on their end, which isn't my fault. And the little time I have to record, I want to get things done. I want to get it done right. So it's not necessarily a lone wolf thing. It's just more of a time issue, to be honest with you. Alexander said, "Hey Dave, I know that you finished playing it a while ago, but how do you do the blade dodge for Arkham City? Do you have the left stick downward as you are going to walk towards the camera, or is it in the direction that the blade is going to slice, for example?" Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was just doing the blade dodge on Arkham Origins the other day. Basically, as you saw in my walkthrough, I messed it up so many times. I thought it was the most awkward move to do, and then someone in the comments told me how easy it actually was, and I was kicking myself that I'd messed it up for so long. But literally all you do is hold, as you just said, the analog stick towards the screen, as if your character was walking towards the screen. So you're backing away from the enemy, and you hold down Y, or if it's on PlayStation, you hold down the triangle, and you don't tap it, you just hold it, and you just keep it held for the 3 swipes, and that's how you do the blade dodge. When it comes to the blade takedown, that I was never quite as good at. It always said on the 3rd one you had to tap it as opposed to just keep it held. But yeah, if you just want to dodge the blade dodge, then just hold down the analog stick pointing towards you and just hold down Y or triangle, and you'll just back up. if you tap it, once you unlock it, I think you can tap it on the third swipe, and it will do the blade, like the takedown, but you need to unlock it first. To be honest, if you want to keep your combo going, I'll just go for the dodge and just punch him in the face afterwards, or do a good old 1,000 Fists of Fury. It works out well. Which, by the way, so glad to see is back in Arkham Origins. If they had taken out the 1,000 Fists of Fury, I would have been so upset. But yeah, I hope that helps. Josh Lace said, "Hey Dave, I once again have a few questions for answering." Okie dokie, fire away. 1, have you tried Renegade on Mass Effect? Yes! I haven't done a Renegade on Mass Effect 1, but I've played through Mass Effect 2, just regular. I then did a walkthrough, on Paragon. I then did a Renegade of Mass Effect 2 all the way through. And, actually no, I didn't do it all the way through. I only got about halfway through it, because then I stopped so I could start recording my walkthrough for Mass Effect 2. So yeah, and I did no, sorry, I tell a lie. I did do a Renegade, both Mass Effect 2 and 3, all the way through. So I've played Mass Effect 1 twice, once on my own, once for a walkthrough, and I've played Mass Effect 2 and 3 3 times. Once Paragon, once Renegade, and then once for the walkthrough. So obviously I'm about to start recording the third version of Mass Effect 3, but yeah, you have to give the Renegade a go, don't you? And the second question was, how many times have you played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 together? Ultimate Alliance 1, I think I've only actually played 2 times. It's a very long game, as you know. But, Ultimate Alliance 1, the first time I played that, I played it with my friend who isn't really too interested in games. He likes comics, and he plays FIFA, but that's pretty much all it is. And back when we were in college, every sort of like weekend and stuff, he had a car, so we'd drive to Tesco's at like 1, 2 in the morning, buy the freshly cooked bread, because we are that cool. Make ourselves massive sandwiches and just sit there pulling an all-nighter playing Ultimate Alliance. I can't ever remember if we completed the game. I don't think we did in the end, because as I say, he wasn't that big on it and I didn't want to play it without him. So I played it through once, and then the second time I played it was when I did the walkthrough. So actually no, I tell a lie, I must have played it a third time, because I completed it on my own once. So I think about 3 times probably Ultimate Alliance 1. And Ultimate Alliance 2, God knows. Take a guess, probably about 3 times as well. Once on my own, then probably a second time again just because I fancied it, and then a third time for the walkthrough. Yeah, I'd say that's probably about right. Probably about 3 times each. Kind of like with Mass Effect. See, everything comes in 3s. I told you, it's a rule. Everything comes in 3s. Josh Lay said, "Oh yeah, what is your history with video games?" Oh man, that's an open-ended book. All right, I don't know. It's not. It's kind of hard really, because it isn't like a set thing. I played games for a bit. I played games ever since I was a kid, but there's no way of me ever actually trying to think the very first thing I played. It started off, I used to love like board games and like playing games with my cards and my toys and all that sort of stuff. My granddad used to sit there and try and teach me how to play chess, but obviously I was young. I was like really young, like 5 or 6. So I didn't really understand it, but don't think he went easy on me. He whooped my ass every time. This guy was a kid, he didn't go easy on me. He checkmate me in like 3 or 4 moves every time. And God bless him for it. Yeah, but I did all that, and then I remember, I think it was my parents or my nan and granddad, I can't remember, they had an what was it they had first? Was it the Amstrad or the Commodore 64? Like the really, really old PCs. And I'm talking, when I say old PC, it didn't have a desktop like you see now. All it was a black screen with the little flashing type button. And to play a game, I had to insert the floppy disk, which was actually floppy and about the same size as an Xbox case is now. And you'd put it in, and then you had to do capital C, and then the little arrow pointing right, semicolon, and then you would do run, and then you had to type in the name of the game. And that was how you played games on PC back when I was a kid. And it was this old castle game, and you literally just use like the up and down keys or the WASD keys just to move around, and then you'd press enter on the sword, and it'd be like, "You have found a sword. Will you use it?" And then you get to type. You had to sort of click on the enemy that you want to use it on. And So I mean, that was one of the very first games I ever remember playing. And then I can't remember if I got any handheld consoles in that time. But yeah, I remember the day that me and my brothers and sisters were all called in the room, and they said, oh, they had a present for us, and they unwrapped it, and there was a place. Oh no, what am I talking about? I'm jumping way ahead. I had a Master System, which had Alex the Kid built into it, which is just a fantastic game. I absolutely loved that game. Master System, I had a Game Gear, in which I think I played Sonic on that, and there were some other games I played on that as well. Yeah, and then we got another PC, which was a really old one. I think that was either Commodore or an Amstrad. Again, floppy disks used the game. And then we got another PC, and then we played stuff like Sims and all that sort of stuff. And then I remember once when I was younger, they all called us in the room and they said, oh, we had a surprise for you. Opened it, and it was a PlayStation 1. And I remember I thought I was going to explode. I was so excited. But even back then, I was a conniving little... I was an evil little child. Because even at whatever age I was then, I figured out if I looked, and I'm air quoting here, generous, and let my 2 sisters and my brother play the game first, then they will get bored of it. And then my turn will be last. But then, of course, there's nobody waiting to play it because they've already had their turn. So I could play it for as long as I wanted. So, and it worked. It was awesome. I figured to myself, I'm going to want to play this for a long time because I love games. And these guys, it's just new for them. As soon as they've played it once, they're not going to care. So I said, oh, go on, you guys go first. So they got their 10 minutes. As my parents said, we had to have 10 minutes each and swap it. So they all had their 10 minutes. And then when it got to my turn, they'd played it and they weren't really interested anymore, so they walked away and I got like an hour straight on it. So Captain Dave rules. But yeah, I had that. Rayman was the very first game we ever had. And then Worms, Armageddon. Then after playing it around my friend's house, we got Doom, which just I remember staying around his house. We'd be sitting in our sleeping bags with the lights turned off, walk around the corner, and then you'd just hear that sort of iconic sound from those little fiery guys, or the metal stomping of that guy who had a cannon through his foot. Scared the crap out of us. But yeah, and then from then on up, it just went. We'd play like SmackDown games, Need for Speed, stuff like that, all the way up to PS2. When Know Your Role come up, we got the PS2 because of Know Your Role, and then kept playing that, loads of different games. Sort of fell out of gaming for a little bit when I went through school and stuff like that. I don't know, I kind of lost interest. I still played SmackDown with my brother, General Manager mode, all that sort of stuff. But kind of fell out of it for a bit, and then GTA 4 came out, and got myself a PS3, and then my brother introduced me to World at War, and as they say, the rest is history. Started playing online, and just went on from there, and it kind of brought my love for games back again. But it never really left. I just took a bit of siesta through my teens a little bit. But yeah, I hope that satisfied your question enough there. But anyway, moving on. Blast Eye Studio said, have played with Pokemon me on Pokemon X and Y. It helps you grow stronger, faster. Move it faster, better, stronger. Get critical hits, more likely survive one-hit KOs and dodge attacks more often. Yes, I forget what it's called. Whatever Pancham evolves into. Is it Pogoro or something like that? Man, that guy, I love him. That bear is just my... I love it. It survived one-hit KOs like a champ every single time. I love that thing. It's so good. But yeah, since he started surviving one-hit KOs and just like with that one little bit of health, I've just been giving treats and tickling like all my Pokemon as much as humanly possible. They must all give their lives for Dave. Mr. Candyman 13 said, Spider Dave, how are things with you outside the world of YouTube? Alright, just busy. Mass Effect 2 question. Who's the voice actor for Thane? I do not have any idea, but the power of Google being my friend, let's go IMDb. Mass Effect 2. And scroll down here. Thane Krios. That's a weird order. It must be they must order obviously they order the characters in order of how famous they are. You go down the list, and the first characters that are named in the Mass Effect 2 IMDb is Admiral Shalaran Vas Tonbay, one of Tally's aunt or where it is, who's obviously quite a famous actress, and then Samara, then Kalriga, then Mordin Solus. That's the order they put it in. But it's because they do it in the order of like the famous actresses and actors and stuff like that. But anyway, getting back to your question, Thane Krios is voiced by Keith Farley. Keith Farley, who doesn't have a picture. They all have pictures, but Keith Farley. But yeah, Thane Krios and someone called Fortak is voiced by Keith Farley. So there you go. There's that. Powers of Google, my friend. The powers of Google. Not to sound morbid, if anything, but I wouldn't mind if Jacob got assassinated in his sleep. Oh my. Also, if you had to be anyone within the Mass Effect series based on their storyline loyalty, who would it be? P.S. Shepard is not an option. Man, I'm not a huge fan of Jacob, but I wouldn't necessarily wish death on him. Yeah, well, you know, you haven't seen how my Mass Effect 2 walkthrough ends yet, so. Oh, see, now I've got you thinking, does Jacob survive? Does he not? Who knows? But, if I could be anyone in Mass Effect series but not Shepard, who would I be based on their storyline and loyalty? See, that's an interesting one, because you could say something like, you know, oh, I'd love to be Grunt, but then you actually think about it, would you like to be born from a tank and not know anything and be angry? And that kind of rules out Rex as well, and I don't know. As I say, Thane is awesome, but I don't think I would like to drown in my own fluids. Mordin's awesome, but his reasons I don't want to be him as well. Huh. I don't know, it's weird. If I had to pick, it sounds boring, but I might pick Kaidan. And I know the whole internet has erupted like, oh my god, not only did they keep Kaidan alive, he actually wants to be Kaidan. But I don't know, I like his backstory. I feel like I can kind of relate, if anything, because of his L2 implants, he gets constant migraines. I get migraines all the time because of my epilepsy, so I kind of feel like I can relate. He sees issues that's wrong with the world, and yet nobody's willing to change it, and that makes him angry. I can relate to that. The world's filled with douchebags. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Kaidan would be a good match for me, to be honest with you. And, you know, sometimes he speaks his mind and can be quite boring. And I tend to ramble on, as evident by these captain quarters, but I don't know, Kaidan. If not, Garrus. I know he hasn't exactly had an easy life, but, you know, it'd be pretty cool. C-Set Cop, trying to do what's right. And then you join Shepard, be awesome, stop Saren. And then you try and set up your own group on Omega, try and be a bit of a renegade. Your whole crew gets killed, yeah, that's going to suck. But then you get to join Shepard again. And then other stuff happens in Mass Effect 3. And I don't know, as long as Garrus doesn't get killed in Mass Effect 2 or anything, or Mass Effect 3, then, yeah, I'd say Kaidan or Garrus, I'd be quite happy with. If not, it's be Liara so I can play my Jubblies. Whatever, they're all viable options. Blast Eye Studio said, one last question, what do you think about Mega Evolution? Yeah, it kind of relates back to what I said earlier about Pokemon becoming Digimon, but with like, the Mega Evolution thing and then reverting back at the end of the fight. Very, very Digimon-esque. And the fact that you have to touch a watch for it to happen. It's literally like they have just bought stock in Digimon. But, no, I think it's alright. It adds sort of like something to the game to try and make you go back and play these other classes. I think some of the Pokemon they've chosen for the Mega Evolution is a bit weird. There's some of them. He's a Bomber Snowman, or however you say his name. Why in the blue hell did they pick him or that to be a Mega Evolution? He sucks. A grass ice type has like every weakness under the sun. Why choose that to have a Mega Evolution? Is it trying to like spur people on to actually use the damn thing? I first saw that thing and I thought it was going to be awesome, and it just got destroyed in every fight. But no, I don't mind a Mega Evolution. I think it's quite cool. It adds a nice new twist to it. And the fact that if you have two Pokemon in your party that both can use Mega Evolution, only one of them can Mega Evolve in each battle. So say like for right now, I have a Gengar and I have a Venusaur on my team. If I make one of them Mega Evolve, I then can't make the other one Mega Evolve in that same battle. I would have to wait until that battle's finished and then walk over to somebody else and a new battle starts. So I think that's kind of good. It means you have to think up your strategy, because obviously by Mega Evolving them, their stats and all that increase just while they're Mega Evolved. So I think it's kind of good. Like, you have to try and plan, like, almost psych out and try and think what's your enemy going to do next. So if you say I've got a grass and poison type or a ghost type, and I'm thinking, well, he's got primarily dark Pokemon, so do I Mega Evolve my Gengar to try and boost his defensive stats, or do I just let Gengar take the hit and Mega Evolve my Venusaur and just try and make it one hit KO all of them and just to be like a one-man show? I think it adds just more to the whole strategic element of Pokemon. But anywho, Robert Hill said, referring to if you have to pre-order the special edition of Lego Marvel, I think you can just get the special edition out of the shop, but to be safe I pre-ordered, so for definite. I don't know if you have to pre-order it or not for the I Am Patriot minifigurine. Yeah, I suppose you bring up a good point. Yeah, it's one of those things where if they say about getting a special edition, it's always safe just to pre-order, because I mean if they are going to add a special clause on it, it normally is to do with pre-ordering. So I figure I'll probably just pre-order it from game. But I actually don't know when it comes out in England. I'm not actually sure. I think it's already come out in America. I remember I watched the launch trailer for it. I think I saw something saying it was the 30th of October. So like the next 2 days. Or next day for when you see this. I don't know. But yeah, I might have to get on that, because the pre-order time limit might be ticking down on me. Alexander said, I don't mean to ask this in a rude way, but why do you not like Aaron Cash? Is it because he's Batman's damsel in distress? The voice, look, I've tried to explain this so many times and I can't. I just don't like Aaron Cash. And so far, yep, knock on wood, I haven't run into him in Arkham Origins yet. I say that, I'm probably going to start playing as soon as I finish recording this and bump into him straight away. I thought I did right at the very start. Like the first thing you do when you start playing Arkham Origins, I thought that was him. I was literally about to blow my brains out. I was like, you kidding me? The first character you meet other than Batman is Aaron Cash. I was going to kill myself, but it turns out it weren't him. So I nearly screamed. But I don't know what it is. I'm sure there's another Captain's Quarters where I've ranted about him somewhere, but he's just so generic and boring and just, oh dear. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't have the energy today to moan about Aaron Cash. All I'm just going to say is, I'm Aaron Cash. Just leave it at that. Alex Mains said, Dave, you are one of the best gamers on YouTube and you tell and give a lot of interesting stuff to say. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. What are your top 5 games that you plan to do? Arkham Origins, obviously that was next. Obviously, I mean, I feel I don't have to say it, but Mass Effect 3, obviously, is a given. So Arkham Origins, Mass Effect 3. I want to do both X-Men Legends games, X-Men Legends 1 and X-Men Legends 2. I definitely want to be playing them. I have them. I just need to get the old Xbox. I want to do Beyond Two Souls. That will probably, Beyond Two Souls will probably be something I start when I finish Mass Effect 3. Most likely, because it's not a superhero game. You know how I like to normally have, like, in a perfect world, before I ran out of time, I always had my superhero walkthrough going and my just whatever walkthrough, whatever game I wanted to play, and that was the way it was always, like before. So when Mass Effect 3 eventually finishes, it will be whatever superhero game I'm playing, whether that's, well, it won't be Arkham Origins, because that would be done by then, but X-Men Legends 2, whatever, and say like Beyond Two Souls, back and forth. Back in the days than how it used to be. Who knows? Maybe Fallout New Vegas might be one of them. Who knows, eh? Seeing how my recording equipment for my Xbox has messed up, maybe I could. Seeing how my recording equipment for my PlayStation still works, maybe picking up Fallout New Vegas again, this might be the perfect time to do it. Who knows? Anyway, let's get your name right this time. Alcaracia. Yeah, was that one alright? Since Iron Man is your second favourite Marvel character, why don't you have him in the background of your video? Iron Man is my second favourite Marvel character. I don't have any positive thoughts really towards Iron Man. I don't like or dislike him. When have I ever said Iron Man's my second favourite? I've got no real love for Iron Man, to be honest with you. I like the films. I think the films are very good. The games, from what I've seen on YouTube, suck. The films were good, and when it comes to the comics, I've never really read Iron Man. I read I don't know how you're actually supposed to say it, but extra oh my god, extradermis or whatever it is, extremis, whatever, yeah, however you're supposed to say it. They say it in Shield all the time, but as you know personally, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. But I read that and I just was bored, to be honest with you. I think Iron Man's a cool character, but I couldn't actually read his comic alone. I just like him as a character that pops in all the time to other people's. But no, he isn't my second favourite at all. I wouldn't even say he's one of my favourites. He's just a character that I don't mind, to be honest with you. So that's why he isn't in the background to my video. And actually, if you notice, all the ones that are in the background to my video, they're all ones I either love or I've done a walkthrough of. You notice Deadpool, done a walkthrough. So that actually is a that Spider-Man isn't just a Spider-Man I found. That's actually an Ultimate Spider-Man drawn by Mark Bagley, who did the Ultimate Spider-Man comic book. So there you go, a little tidbit of information for you. And then obviously you got Batman and the Juggernaut. Yeah, I haven't done a game where you are Juggernaut, but I use Juggernaut quite a fair bit in Mass Effect 2, Ultimate Alliance 2. So technically, every single one of them is someone I have actually done a kind of walkthrough with. So that's why they're there. But one day I'm going to have to update that and add in a whole bunch of new characters. But yeah, MasterKill492 said, "Who are my top 5 hottest actresses?" Oh, there we go. This is where this gets X-rated. Here's mine, not mine. This is MasterKill's top 5 in no particular order: Scarlett Johansson, Kate Beckinsale, Jessica Alba, good, nice one, Jennifer Aniston, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Also, if you do a Pokemon walkthrough, I think it would be cool. To me, it doesn't matter how much you know about it, because I won't lie, I was a fan of the originals myself, so I would say do a walkthrough of it and no one will give a hell about if you give a little disclaimer like, hey, I really don't know these guys. Yeah, that's the thing, unfortunately you can do a little disclaimer and you can say, oh, I'm not gonna blah 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 blah, but then the next video, or which I always find funny, in that video they still ask you the question you've just answered. So unfortunately disclaimers don't work. The majority of people just, I don't know if they don't see it or if they ignore it, I don't know. No, I'd love to do it's something like a Pokemon walkthrough. I think it's one of those things, it sounds like fun, but I think when it comes down to it, I don't have the equipment, and I think, I don't know, I like playing it for myself. I don't think I could actually produce a good walkthrough of Pokemon, to be honest with you. I'd rather admit that I can't do a good Pokemon walkthrough than be one of these people who just tries to jump on a bandwagon and just produce crap that clogs up YouTube. To be honest with you, I'd rather say, look, I'm not going to do a good walkthrough of this, so I'm not going to bother. Like the same reason I'm not going to do a GTA 5 walkthrough. I'm sure it would be hilarious. I have no doubts about it. It would be hilarious if I did. But I honestly don't think I would produce that good of a GTA 5 walkthrough. I think it's a great, great game, and there would be so many hilarious moments in it. But actually, no, that's not really a good example. I think I could probably do a good GTA 5. But yeah, I don't have the equipment for it, and even if I did, I think I'm happy just playing Pokemon, to be honest with you. Who knows, one day in the future, maybe. But, yeah, so who are my top 5 hottest actresses? Okay, this is where things get, we're delving into the part of the mind of the captain that you might not want to go. But no, Jessica Alba, definitely. There is a poster right in front of me right now with Jessica Alba on it. She is a fantastic woman. Absolutely beautiful. I've seen the film Into the Blue so many times and I still don't know what the plot is. I see her and the whole world just disappears. Jessica Alba, definitely attractive. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson, definitely attractive. I used to like Vanessa Hudgens, and then she got older and got a bit crazy. So I don't know. I've never really thought about narrowing it into a top 5, but yeah. Jessica Alba's definitely up there. I'll definitely say she's my number 1. Always has been. Love that woman. But yeah, I couldn't really think of a top 5 right now. And even if I did try and think of a top 5, it just sounds, don't know. I think sitting here on the internet just saying 5 women you like, just kind of out loud anyway. It just sounds creepy in my head for some reason. I don't know why. Yusuf Yasir said, I was going to ask that question about the top 5 actors and actresses. Oh, you've actually named your top 5 actors as well. Oh, fair enough. Your top 5 actors were Hugh Jackman, Dwayne Johnson, Vin Diesel, Johnny Depp, and Orlando Bloom. Oh, I hate Johnny Depp. Oh, no. No. Johnny Depp, I hate him with a passion. And your top actresses are Jessica Alba, good, Megan Fox, Angelina Jolie, Scarlett Johansson, and Selena Gomez. I've got to admit, with Hugh Jackman, bit of a man crush on that guy. I've always said to my girlfriend, if she cheated on me with Hugh Jackman, I wouldn't be angry. I'd be like, that's fair play. If Hugh Jackman come on to me, I would say no. The guy is just, apparently, one of my cousins actually met him, and he's apparently just a nice man. He's just apparently just such a nice person to talk to. So, that's, okay, we're going a little bit gay here on the Captain's Quarters, but no. Yeah, Jessica Alba, definitely. And if I was gay, yeah, Hugh Jackman, why not? That's how we do things here. Alright, let's move on. Gambit Girl, hey Dave, name your top 5 couples in Marvel. Okay, maybe we're not moving on. Okay, are we staying with the girls and boys theme? Top 5 couples. I'm guessing I have to think of 5 couples now. I always liked in Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man and Kitty Pryde. I always liked them as a couple. I thought that was a good couple, to be honest with you. For lack of better descriptive words, I always thought that was quite a unique and surprising pairing, but I liked it. The same again, actually, with Kitty Pryde and Bobby, Iceman. I liked that. I thought that was quite good. You've got to obviously say, I never liked Jean Grey, and I've never really been a huge fan of Emma Frost either, so I haven't liked anyone that Cyclops has ever got with. No! Oh, my favourite couple! She-Hulk and the Juggernaut. Best thing I ever read, that was. That's got to be my favourite couple, but yeah. And you got like the classics, Spider-Man, Mary Jane. I know everyone says, oh no, he was with Gwen Stacy first, but he became more iconic with Mary Jane. I think he was actually, in comic book terms, has been with Mary Jane for longer, or was with Mary Jane for longer at least, and it became just like this iconic story. So you got like the classics. Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch. I mean, Human Torch? Things definitely are going gay on the Captain's Quarters. Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman. You know, I think the family dynamic of that was always fantastic. The fact that the little brother, and then it was almost like Ben and Johnny were almost more brothers than Johnny and Susan were. If the way they bickered and argued, you always felt they were more like a big brother, little brother situation more than Invisible Woman and Human Torch were. But I always found that was a good family dynamic. But as a couple, I thought they were quite interesting. He's always like in his own head, and it's like she's the heart and he's the mind of the relationship, if you see what I mean. She sort of centers him back down to earth again. I always thought that was quite good. But yeah, I suppose I couldn't really narrow it down to the top 5, but I've got to say my favourite, probably Juggernaut and She-Hulk. Absolutely fantastic. Just loved that. That was just classic stuff. Anyway, Yusuf Yasir said, and also, will you play Crash Bandicoot Mind Over Mutant? PS, I'm typing on my iPhone so it sends the messages yet. I haven't heard of Mind Over Mutant before, but no, I don't know. I might play one of the old retro Crash Bandicoots, you know, in the future at some point, but I couldn't really see myself playing the newer one. Zachary Ziegler said, if you could be in any universe, which would you be? The Mass Effect universe, the Marvel universe, the DC universe, or the Walking Dead universe? Well, I would definitely not be in the Walking Dead universe. My God, who would want to be in that universe? And it's one of those things that I think a few people look at it and they think it sounds fun, but come on, no electricity, no TV. I need my Burger Kings. I can't live without my meat. My easy, ready milled meat, not my butchering a pig meat. No, Walking Dead, definitely not. That's not exactly my cup of tea. It's a fun game to play, fun show to watch. Wouldn't exactly like to live it. It'd be a toss-up between Mass Effect and Marvel. Probably Marvel. Just because mutant superheroes, as assuming you are a mutant or a superhero. If you weren't, I don't know, actually, it'd still be cool. Just to live in a world with superheroes and villains and cool stuff like that. I don't know. It'll be probably the Marvel Universe. I'd probably, if I had to pick one, it'd probably be the Marvel Universe. But then you've just got to think the Mass Effect universe is just so badass. It is just so cool. So, I don't know, but as cool as the Mass Effect universe is, it is very similar to our universe in the sense of laws and restrictions and just general bullshittery. So, I don't know, I'd have to go with the Marvel universe, to be honest. It just seems so much cooler in every way. Yusuf Yasir said, "Hey Dave, did you see the Sky in S.H.I.E.L.D. sex scene? She's so hot." Well, I'm going to say no, just because it wasn't a sex scene. It was barely a scene. It was just her standing there in her underwear. That's pretty much it. But no, she is a very attractive lady. I'm not going to give you that. This is a very X-rated Captain's Quarters, this one, isn't it? I don't know what's quite going on here. I don't mind. It's just... yeah, there's that. Giovanni, hey Dave, what are your thoughts about the new Captain America Winter Soldier movie? Thank you, Giovanni. Let's get us back on track talking about films and games. Thank you very much. What are your thoughts about the new Captain America Winter Soldier movie? I saw the trailer and it looks like it's going to be better than the first. Yes, totally agree with you. I think this new Captain America looks awesome. I think the first one was a good film, but it kind of, to be honest with you, it's kind of boring, the first Captain America. It kind of whiffed. It was more just setting the scene for everyone who doesn't know who Captain America is before the Avengers film. And now the Avengers film is out the way, I kind of feel like they're actually making a proper Captain America film. But it's quite cool. From the trailer, it looks like he's working with S.H.I.E.L.D. and then he's realising that, you know, it looks like it's going to be good. You know, he's saying it's not freedom, it's fear, and obviously, for those of you who know who the Winter Soldier is, you know, that's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to that a hell of a lot, but not sure I like Scarlett Johansson with that ridiculously flat hair either. No, it looks good. It looks good. And of course, it wouldn't be S.H.I.E.L.D. if the helicarrier didn't crash. So, no, but definitely looks good. I'm very much looking forward to that. Punisher Rogus or Rogus? Punisher Rogus said, "Cap, do you like Dragon Ball Z?" No, I don't like Dragon Ball Z. I've never really watched it, so I can't say I dislike it, but I've never watched it. And I love your videos. Thank you very much. We're actually very much near the end now. Fidgety Jones said, "Hey Cap, I recently bought the Mass Effect trilogy and got about halfway through the first game when I lost my saved file. Oh man, that sucks. I feel your pain there. So I was wondering if you think it's necessary to play through the first game, the first one, before playing ME2 and 3. I've seen your walkthrough, so I know most of the story bits, but I'm worried that if I skip it, the second game won't have made the choices that I would have." Unfortunately, you will have to play the first one again. You can start Mass Effect 2 having not played Mass Effect 1, but they would have made choices on your behalf. So the default for Mass Effect 2, having not played Mass Effect 1, is Ashley Williams would have survived on Vermeer. I think you do save the council? No, you don't save the council. I can't remember. But one of them gets chosen for you, and I think Rex is still alive. I think they keep Rex alive. I don't think they kill him. Well, I never know, because I only got past the intro bit when Miranda's talking to the elusive man, so I wouldn't really know. But yeah, they keep Ashley alive, and I can't remember whether you do or do not save the council or not. That's what happens if you don't import a save. So unfortunately, you will have to, if you want all the side missions and all the story to continue over, you will have to do ME1. Just because there's a lot of side quests and characters that come into Mass Effect 2 that won't be there if you haven't encountered them in Mass Effect 1. So there are whole plot lines that evolve into Mass Effect 3 that aren't even there if you haven't encountered them in Mass Effect 1. Like not trying to, I don't want to spoil anything, but if you don't save Captain Kurahi in Mass Effect 1 with the Vermeer, with the bomb, where you lose either Kaidan or Ashley, you can save Captain Kurahi if you do that side mission where you actually destroy all those bots and help them. Seems seemingly unimportant, but if you do save him, he appears in Mass Effect 3. Not necessarily a massive role, but a fairly big role. He can be a lot bigger role, actually. But obviously, I don't want to get into that because I don't want to ruin it. But he can have quite a huge role in it. So it's like seemingly small choices in Mass Effect 1. So that's the thing. If you start an ME2 walkthrough without having doing a Mass Effect 1, Captain Curry probably won't be alive because you haven't done the side mission to save him. So, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm going to say you probably would have to go through and do ME1 again if you want all that side mission-y goodness and all the characters to come over and stuff like that. You can download some DLC. It's called Genesis or something like that, in which it's almost like a comic book thing, and it goes through and you get to make the choices, but that's still only the big choices like Caden or Ashley, Council, Live or Die, stuff like that. I don't think you get too many small choices. Oh, the Rachni, I think you get to choose that in Genesis. I don't know what it is if you just play blind without having done ME1. So unfortunately, I would suggest going through and do Mass Effect 1 again. I mean, I know it sucks getting halfway through. You're what, 20 hours into it, so that sucks, man. It really does. I feel your pain, but that's the only thing I can suggest, really. If you really want to have the best experience from it, I'd say do it again. Lady Tanya 76 said, "Can you play Assassin's Creed game?" Honestly, I very much doubt I will. There's nothing really about the game that appeals to me. I'm sure it's a good game. I'm sure it is. I've played bits of it. I played a bit of 4 at Eurogamer, but it just doesn't appeal to me. I've got no interest in playing, to be honest. Mohammed Ayaz Mohammed asked, when are you going to play Batman Arkham Origins? Yeah, I answered that earlier, probably about a week, 2 weeks. Jim Jenks said, "Hi Dave, have you seen the new Captain America Winter Soldier trailer? It looks awesome." As I said earlier, yep, definitely does look awesome. Can't wait. The Darkman1 Fest said, "Just call me Anthony. It was easier." That was actually surprisingly. I said that quite well. Surprisingly well. But anyway, yeah, Anthony said, "Did you get Arkham Origins yet? I know you pre-ordered it, so did you get it and how are you liking it?" I, shockingly enough, actually prefer it to Arkham City. I was shocked when I started playing it. I don't think it's an absolutely outstanding, amazing game, and oh my god, it's going to break the box office. But other than the original announcement, like cinematic trailer, I on purposely made myself blind to Arkham Origins. I didn't look up anything. I didn't watch any gameplay. I looked at absolutely nothing to do with Arkham Origins. So when I actually got the game, everything would be brand new to me. Absolutely everything. And I've got to say, I am really liking it. I really do enjoy it. Arkham City was a great game, but I kind of felt it was, I don't know, just kind of dreary. Something about it that just didn't appeal to me. Maybe it's just this game's more colourful and I'm a sucker for pretty things, who knows. But Arkham Origins, I was sceptical, the fact that it's not being made by Rocksteady and the fact now it's by Warner Brothers. There's different voice actors, they're doing the whole going back before any of it happened thing. I was a bit sceptical, but I like how this game is playing out. It's not all just a complete cluster of just everything happening at once. He's meeting these people for the first time, and I didn't think I was going to like, but I love the whole crime solving thing. I thought the way they were trying to, and I'm air quoting, advance the detective mode, I thought was a little weird, and I didn't think it would be a good idea. I thought, I'm not too sure whether this is going to make it better or make it worse, but I've got to say, I am loving the whole detectiveness of it. The way you're solving crimes, and you're solving a story, and I like it. It's not just Batman running off trying to put out one fire after the next. It's actually like you're actively going out and trying to solve crimes. And I don't know, I just think it's a lot better. Instead of just loads of things going on and Batman just trying to survive and save the day, it actually is like he's a detective. I don't know, I'm thoroughly enjoying Arkham Origins a lot more than I thought I was going to. So, yeah, loving it. Loving it. And, sorry, I need to burst into song then. But, yeah, and I got the pre-ordered version, so I've got the Deathstroke skin and challenge maps as well, which I'm sure you can expect me as soon as I can get my recording equipment working, up and running. I'm sure you can get some of that off me as well. And Jedi Coon said as the very last comment, "Hey Dave, when you get to 10,000 subs, will you do a special subscriber video? By the way, I've been subscribed since Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, and I love the videos." Well, thank you very much, and I'm not sure. Honestly, I do recognise milestones, and I think they are cool when you hit 10,000. It's a nice big round number, and you've just hit that next digit along, and it's like, yay! 10,000! I mean, it is good, but I don't know, I don't really hold that much value to it. I think it's awesome, and I think it's cool to see when you hit 10,000, but I don't know. I might do, just for fun. I don't know what I would do, but as I said, just like with like my time issues before and stuff like that, I can never promise that I can actually go through with what I say I want to do. So I might make a video. I've always wanted for the longest time to make a almost like a montage of like some of the best bits of my walkthroughs, sort of like a just like kind of like with like an extended version of my channel trailer, where it's like Jeannie May gets shot in Fallout, and then Batman teabagging people, and then, you know, not doing stuff, and then Deadpool doing stuff, and just the funny bits and all the Falcon punches off the edge of the cliff, and in X-Men Destiny, you know, just a montage of just some of the best bits over the last, God, I've been doing this for 3 years now. Like some of the best bits over the last 3 years. Yeah, I always thought something like that'd be cool, but my editing software just messes up so much. I'm at the end stages of editing the road so far for Mass Effect 2 right now, and for editing software, it is shockingly bad at actually rendering the edited footage. It crashes every time. It's ridiculous. But no, I think if I did make a 10,000 sub sort of special subscriber video, it'd probably be something like that. I'd probably like to make like a montage of just like 3 years of Captain Daviness. You know, I'd love to do something with you guys, but honestly, I couldn't guarantee I'd be able to actually go through with a promise, and I'd hate to promise you something and then let you all down. So, but yeah, I'd love to do a 10,000 thing if I ever found the time to do it. But that is that. That is all 93 questions. Well, I suppose some of them comments, but that is all the questions and comments from the Captain's Quarters episode 6, and that nicely rounds up Captain's Quarters episode 7. So as I say, any questions or comments that you would like to ask me, feel free to leave in this video in the comments section in this video, and also be sure to let me know if you would like these to be sort of turned into an audio file and put on iTunes. If that's something you'd like, then yeah, definitely let me know, and I'll get working on that. And if that's something you'd like, also thank Tommy at Geekspace, because him who came up with the idea for it. And as I say, once again, with regards to Arkham Origins, week 2 weeks, as soon as I get this recording equipment sorted, I am buzzing, and I just really want to get recording again. It's been so long since I've actually sat and recorded something. So, yeah, I can't wait. But that is episode 7 done. And as always, my name's Captain Dave. This has been the Captain's Quarters, and I'll catch you guys later.